Hello everyone, welcome to your weekly forecast for Monday, May 3rd through Sunday, May 9th. So there are just a few major aspects this week, all of them from planets in Taurus. So on Monday we have May 3rd, okay, Mercury in Taurus squares Jupiter in Aquarius on the same day. The Sun in Taurus squares Saturn in Aquarius. On Thursday, May 6th, we have Venus in Taurus trines Pluto in Capricorn. And on Saturday, we have Venus in Taurus squares Jupiter in Aquarius. Okay, so actually it's pretty nice aspects, nothing really earth-shaking or whatever, nothing to worry about. They're just squares and we've got a trine, so they're fairly pleasant. Okay, Mercury and Venus do enter Gemini this week. Okay, so for Aries, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your second house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 11th house. And actually on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your second house also squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 11th house. So you have actually a pretty nice square from Venus and Mercury to Jupiter, okay, in your 11th house. Your second house where you have Taurus is your money house, how you earn money. It's earned income. Your 11th house, where you have Jupiter and Saturn transiting right now, is your house of your friends and your acquaintances. It's your most sociable house. It's where you would normally go to hang out. If you're not able to actually physically go anywhere right now, it's socializing online in social media. So squares to, especially from Venus, Venus to Jupiter, no matter what the aspect, they're always good. You know, it's not really a very big deal. It just kind of makes you go overboard in some way, usually when Jupiter's involved. And from Venus, it's a good time. Okay, so that's all that is maybe, you know, you may spend too much money having a good time with your friends. Maybe you haven't seen them for a while and you're making up for lost time. The same thing with even Mercury. Square from your second house to Jupiter in your 11th. You know you're doing it. You know you're spending money that maybe you don't even have, you know, or was put aside for something else. But whatever you're doing at this time with your friends or out socially somewhere doing something, it's far more important than worrying about the bills. Okay? Also on Monday, May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your second house squares Saturn in your 11th house of Aquarius. So you've got the Sun there even poking you, going, hey, you know, what are you doing here? You should really be watching your money. That's really all that's happening right now, is doing something socially or doing something with your friends comes at a bit of an expense to you, possibly. You know, maybe it may be more than you expected, but really in your mind it seems worth it right now. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your second house trines Pluto transiting in your 10th house of Capricorn. Very nice transit for, let's say, like a pay raise. Okay, having planets in your second house this time every year is maybe usually when you do get some kind of pay raise or an increase in income somewhere or other, but it's money coming to you that you more or less worked for. Having Venus in your second house does attract nice things like money to you, but a trine to your 10th house of career where you still have Pluto transiting kind of means that you're being looked upon very favorably by your company, your higher up. Someone that you report to. If you're self-employed, this would be some kind of prestigious client or someone or anyone in your, let's say, your career life that could put in a good word for you, because they more than likely are, and it's paying off financially. Okay, so let's see here. For Taurus, hang on, Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your first house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 10th house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in your first house in Taurus also squares Jupiter transiting in your 10th house of Aquarius, your 10th house of career. You know, you have Venus in your first house. It's your ruling planet. So it's doing really well here. People are saying very nice things about you, period, just because you have Jupiter in your 10th house right now. Saturn there at the same time makes you look like a very reliable, stable kind of person when it comes to your job or your career. The squares are really nothing, you know. It just means that your personality is, I would say, doing your career a lot more good than bad. Okay, whatever you're doing or saying at this time, it is, you're like self-promotion more or less. Okay, and it's working. You're not boastful. You're not egotistical or anything like that. You are just, if you have to, you are pointing out your pros about whatever it is that you do for a living, why you are good at what you do. Okay. On the same day, on Monday, the Sun in Taurus in your first house squares Saturn, also transiting in your 10th house of career. And that's what I meant by, you know, you may have to actually point out to someone that you work with, a colleague, a higher up, someone like that, someone that you kind of answer to within your career, and you might have to assure them that you know what you're doing. They believe that you do, but maybe there's something else going on, let's say like within the company or something like that, that you have to reassure this person. Okay. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your first house trines Pluto transiting in your 9th house of Capricorn. It's a very nice transit too. Let's say like the 9th house is many things. Having Pluto here has changed your outlook kind of on everything from religion to your philosophy on life to your political beliefs or opinions or anything like that, okay? It's just a very minor trine from Venus. It just kind of means that you are able to get along with a lot of different kinds of people right now, and that's in your favor. You are able to hold your own, let's put it that way, in a conversation with anyone from any walk of life. And it does help you professionally. Okay, personally also, but professionally now at this time. Okay. So for, Gemini. On Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 12th house squares Jupiter transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in your 12th house of Taurus also squares Jupiter in your 9th house of Aquarius. So, you know, your 12th house where you have Taurus is your house of confidences and secrets. It's behind the scenes. Matters and occurrences and actions by you or even someone else. These squares to Jupiter are really nice, actually. You know, you could be looking forward to some kind of, let's say, trip or class that you may be going to take, or a person that you'll be in contact with, possibly in person, but they either live at a distance or even in another country. And you are just kind of making plans behind the scenes, it seems, for this event or whatever that may be coming up with in your life. You know, there's something long distance, more or less, going on in your life. And it could be travel, but it could also be just communication, something like that. But whatever you're being told at this time, or any kind of contact that you're having with someone right now, you're more or less keeping it to yourself. Okay, on the same day, on Monday, May 3rd, the Sun in your 12th house in Taurus squares Saturn, also transiting in your 9th house of Aquarius. And maybe this is why you are possibly keeping even a friendship with someone, like to yourself, quiet or something or other. There could be someone within your life that kind of critiques every little thing that you do. They've got something to say about anything, you know, especially like your friends or your choice in, you know, romantic prospects or anything. You know, they could be like really nitpicky. So this may be why, if you are in touch with someone, like I said, who is even from a completely different background than yours, okay? That's why, okay? On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 12th house trines Pluto, transiting in your 8th house of Capricorn. So, you know, again, we're behind the scenes here with Venus in your 12th house. It could be like a secret crush, secret romance even going on. Very nice trine to your 8th house of other people's resources and money. It's also the house of transformation. You have Pluto transiting here, actually in retrograde motion since the end of April, bringing about your idea, your transformation on, let's say, yourself even, okay? Pluto does really well here. It is the natural ruler along with Mars of Scorpio, and Scorpio is the natural ruler of the 8th house. So you are possibly doing something, let's say, with yourself. I would have to say with yourself. If you are in the middle of any kind of relationship with somebody that is a little bit of a secret, just because these planets are in your 12th house right now, that's not always going to be that way. Somebody could be like giving you things, giving you gifts, giving you money even, but they could also be giving you use of whatever it is that they have. Okay, the 8th house is other people's resources, but it isn't always necessarily money. It could be even just their cooperation. So you could have somebody actually helping you. But again, it's a secret for now. Okay, for Cancer. On Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 11th house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 8th house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 11th house also squares Jupiter in Aquarius in your 8th house. So you have these planets in your 8th house of fun-loving friends and any kind of organization that you belong to, but it's your most sociable house. So if you're not actually physically going out and doing things with your friends or even on your own, you are at least online in social media or something, but you're in more contact with your friends now than at any other time, okay? The squares to, you know, Jupiter in your 8th house really aren't too much of a big deal. Having Jupiter in your 8th house kind of puts other people's resources at your disposal in a way. You know, Saturn is also here, kind of evens out, you know. A lot of times if you are being given access to, like, let's say something that someone has, they're letting you use it, or they're actually giving you something. With Saturn here, there may be like strings attached in a way, somewhere down the line, okay? So maybe one of your friends right now would like you to do something with them, but maybe you don't have the money to do this, or even the time, and they are trying to lure you into or prompt you into, you know, doing this fun thing or whatever. And they're going to pay for it, or you don't have to worry about anything because everything's taken care of. If it has anything to do with travel, maybe, you know, they have a place for you all to stay. Whatever, you know, you're not supposed to worry about whatever, but you know what? Maybe you should kind of, because on the very same day of May 3rd, with that Mercury square Jupiter, you also have the Sun in Taurus in your 11th house squares Saturn in Aquarius in your 8th house. So somebody, even, you know, even if it's not to do anything fun or whatever, one of your friends or acquaintances or any kind of organization that you belong to may tell you, don't worry about this or that because we'll take care of it. And it's probably not going to be happening, you know what I mean? Like if it does, somewhere down the line, they're going to want payback, even though they're saying now that they don't. So just keep that in mind. Anyone that does you a favor at this time, they want something in return, but not right now. They're acting like, you know, you don't have to do anything, but you kind of probably do in the future. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 11th house trines Pluto, transiting in Capricorn in your 7th house. So this is kind of like when you possibly meet someone new or introduced to someone through a friend or meet somebody online that may possibly be a potential partner. It could be a close friend. You know, Pluto is in your 7th house of close relationships. So this is business, romantic, or a friend. So something on those lines. You are being introduced to someone or just meeting someone on your own that you could form some kind of pretty tight relationship with somewhere down the line. You know, it's too weak right now for something like that. If anything, if you are currently in a relationship with someone, they're getting along a lot better with your friends or where you choose to hang out or any kind of organization that you belong to. At least your partner or close friend is, they actually like what you're doing. Maybe at other times they don't, but right now they kind of enjoy whatever it is that you're doing with your friends and are possibly doing it with you. Okay, for Leo, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your, let's see here, 10th house, sorry. Squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 7th house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 10th house squares, also squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 7th house. So you have Venus and Mercury in your 10th house of your career and your public life, how you're known by professional reputation and personal even. Very nice, actually, square to the planet Jupiter. Not a very big deal. You know, you have Saturn here at the same time, but Venus and Mercury squaring Jupiter are just kind of like saying, in a way, that you have a public life, or you know people who are possibly prominent in the public eye or whatever. You know, maybe your 7th house is your close relationships with a friend or a romantic partner or a business partner. And maybe they might be a little bit, I don't want to say jealous, you know, but they could think that maybe you are spending a little bit too much time pursuing even a new position within your livelihood or personally, some kind of status or whatever that you're after. Or maybe they feel that you're just trying to get attention, period. Okay? On the same day, May 3rd, okay, the Sun in your 10th house in Taurus squares Saturn, also transiting in Aquarius in your 7th house. So that's what I mean about some, you know, close relationship that you have with someone. If it is a business relationship, then maybe your business partner thinks that you're getting all the attention for the business, getting all the glory and the reward, more or less, of a job well done by both of you. Okay, but you're getting all the acclaim, and it's like this person feels like they're a silent partner. Okay, if it's a romantic partner, they just, again, feel that you're in hot pursuit of attention or status of some kind or a better position And it seems like it's the main thing on your mind, and maybe you just don't have enough time for them right now. Okay, on Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 10th house trines Pluto transiting in Capricorn in your 6th house of the workplace. The kind of work that you do, your co-workers, your schedule at work, all kinds of stuff, you know. So having Venus in your 10th house is really nice for you personally anyways, because the public eye sees you as very, very appealing right now. But a very nice trine to Pluto in your 6th house of the workplace kind of means that a higher up is granting you like special favors, or letting you do something that your coworkers aren't allowed to do, or letting you, I don't know, a perk of some kind, but you're able to do something, you know, in a way though you may even be chosen by a higher up to represent the company or something in some way, or you know, whatever. But let's put it this way: you're on their good side. You're on a higher up's good side. For Virgo, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your, let's see where you have Taurus here, 9th house. Okay, squares Jupiter transiting in your 6th house of Aquarius. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 9th house also squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 6th house. Okay, so these really aren't bad squares at all. I've mentioned many, many times about you feeling that you possibly have a lot more knowledge in whatever area you do, you know, for a living, the kind of work that you do. That's what the 6th house is, and this is where you have Jupiter and Saturn transiting right now. So there's a lot of activity going on here, a lot of room for expansion, different people coming and going within your work area, or assignments possibly changing and stuff like that. So the squares from Venus and Mercury really aren't all that bad to Jupiter, you know. Just kind of means like maybe you are in some kind of in touch or group, you know, your co-workers or your company or whatever, you're all, let's say, like in a meeting of some kind, and assignments or whatever are being doled out, or a discussion of what should be done or something, or you know, as far as the work goes, or work assignments, or how these things are being done. So something like that just looks like a very brief kind of encounter with, you know, possibly people that you work with in regards to whatever's going to happen with the works. Maybe possibly some kind of changes coming up, because on the same day, on Monday, May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your 9th house squares Saturn also in Aquarius in your 6th house. So always, you know, somebody's not going to like it. You know, whatever it is that is going on at work that is possibly changing more or less in your favor. It's not like real earth shaking, you know, but it's, let's put it this way, better than nothing. It's not bad. It's not like good. You know, I mean, it's not like an extreme, you know. It's just that things seem to go in your favor, and you may possibly work with someone that it would be like this with not just you, but anyone, if they didn't get what they wanted. So you're always going to have a crybaby. Okay, be working with a crybaby. So that's kind of like what this is. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 9th house trines Pluto transiting in Capricorn in your 5th house of fun and romance. Okay, so finally a little bit of levity, you know. Not that you don't have it throughout the week. It's just that work is kind of the focal point for a little bit there. And now, actually fun and romance are. It's not like a very big deal, because it's trine very mild from the planet Venus, but it's very pleasant. It's almost like doing something far more interesting, let's say with a romantic partner, or going on, let's say, a date or something that's a little bit more educational, or, like I said, interesting. It could be exciting even. You know, you want to do something a little different. Even for just fun, you know, it doesn't have to be for romance. You may be, you know, checking out all kinds of different things right now, maybe possibly for a trip in the future, but it kind of looks like you're trying to, let's say if you were going to take a trip, it has to be for fun, but it also has to be for business or educational at the same time. It has to mean something. Okay. For Libra, okay, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 8th house, okay, squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 5th house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 8th house also squares Jupiter transiting in your 5th house of Aquarius. Not bad at all, actually. You know, the 8th house is shared resources, shared debt. It's anything that you may possibly own with someone else. Okay, it's also other people's resources and money. This could be up for discussion right now. You know, you have Jupiter in your 5th house along with Saturn at the same time, but Jupiter brings expansion in 5th house matters like romance and speculation, even fun, children. That could be like an I don't know, I don't want to say an issue, but it could be a topic of conversation right now. Children, yours, theirs. Are you adopting? Is there a child coming into your life or whatever, you know? Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to do, you know, or something, even if it is with your child or their child, that that they want to do something that costs money. Okay, so it could be something like that. You may possibly be hitting somebody up for money that maybe they should be paying for though anyway. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily your sole expense. So it could have something to do with like a child or a creative project. Again, that it's a collaboration, so you are not responsible for any debt that occurs due to, you know, being creative isn't cheap a lot of times. So you need other people to pitch in also. Or anything that it is that they have. It doesn't necessarily have to be money. Maybe they have, I always say equipment, but use of something that you need. Okay, so it could actually just be something like that, but it's very mild squares, you know, to Jupiter of all planets. So it's not a very big deal, but it is a question, you know, that how is this going to be paid for? Okay, or even speculation. You know, maybe you're going to go to a casino or something, you know, with in mind, not just having fun, but bringing home like large amounts of money, and that's more than likely not going to happen. Okay, so anyways, also on Monday, May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your 8th house squares Saturn transiting in your 5th house of Aquarius. Okay, so there's the reality that hits you there, you know, the voice of reason somewhere is in there saying, you know what, you really don't either want to spend the money doing this, or you don't need to, or this can wait, or why, you know, why does this have to be done right now? So it's maybe something that you can do down the road, but maybe not right now. Maybe you just can't get the money together. This is even asking possibly someone to borrow money from them or borrow something from them that you would like to use in order to pursue, okay, a fun time, good time, again, a creative project, something to do with a child, anything. But it's more than likely something that can wait, okay? Let's see here. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 8th house trines Pluto, transiting in Capricorn in your 4th house. So maybe when it's all said and done, you know, the very thing that you are trying to borrow or get money for is something to do with your home. Okay, your 4th house is your home and your family, your personal life. It's where you actually physically live. All kinds of changes have occurred here, and Pluto is still here. Okay, so your place probably doesn't even look like it did 10 years ago. For whatever reason, something physically even has changed there, but even the people you're living with or don't live with now, maybe you live alone or whatever, but a very nice trine from Venus, not very earth-shaking, but it is helpful that someone may help you within your home or give you something for your home. It could be money, but it could actually just be something like furniture or something that you would like for your home. Okay. For Scorpio, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 7th house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 4th house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 7th house also squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 4th house. So, you know, you have Mercury and Venus across from all your planets in Scorpio because, you know, Taurus is your opposite sign. Not a very big deal right now, especially Venus. Kind of just makes you, you don't feel like doing anything. Want to do anything that's, I don't know, all you want to do is things that are kind of pleasant, more or less. Fun, don't require a lot of exertion, whatever, okay? So these squares to your 4th house of your personal life in your home, the people you live with, your family, or a roommate. It's the actual physical place where you live, okay? You know that your 7th house is your house of close relationships, so maybe there is something going on there as far as your home. Maybe this is a long-standing kind of discussion, whereas maybe you live with someone, or as far as romance goes, or maybe you don't. Maybe whomever it is that you're dating romantically thinks that it's time to settle down into something or other more permanent. Maybe they would like to move in with you, or you move in with them, or they possibly want, it could even be just like a close friend, doesn't have to be romantic, but they may possibly want you to change something at your home, okay, for them, to accommodate them in some way, okay? On the same day, on May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your 7th house also squares Saturn transiting in your 4th house of Aquarius. So this is what I'm talking about. You know, they may not think it's a very big deal, but they may be asking you to give up a lot even, you know, a lot of your personal life or your family. You know, maybe they feel they should come first in your life, and maybe your family second, or something or other. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 7th house trines Pluto, transiting in Capricorn in your 3rd house. So this is a very nice trine. It's not very powerful, you know, it's kind of mild, but it does bring kind of pleasant times to your 3rd house, which is your everyday life, pretty much. Your neighborhood, your siblings, your cousins, but it's like your immediate area. So maybe your partner or a close friend or whatever is agreeing to do something, let's say like with your family, your brother, sister, something like that, or is agreeing to meet them even, or attend some kind of, let's say lunch or something like that, but getting together with possibly you and other people, not just you and your partner or close friend, but you and other people for, just some kind of, I don't know, barbecue or something like that. I guess it's a pretty good, big deal because they would be meeting your family or your friends or something like that. Okay, for Sagittarius, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 6th house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 3rd house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 6th house also squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 3rd house. So having all these nice planets in your 6th house of the kind of work that you do and your co-workers, the workplace. A nice square to actually Jupiter, not a very big deal. It kind of looks like maybe you are wanting to do something with your family, maybe, with your friends, attend some kind of, I don't know, gathering, go out to lunch or something like that, meet people for drinks, meet your friends for drinks or something like that, but you have to work. Or maybe you and your co-workers are being asked to attend some kind of function for your company or something like that, but it's almost like what I can't even think of the word that I'm thinking of. You feel like you have to attend, even though it's kind of optional in a way, but you feel obligated to do this very thing because it might have something to do with your job. Because on the same day, Monday, May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your 6th house squares Saturn transiting in your 3rd house of Aquarius, okay? So you kind of feel obligated to get together with the people you work with, or a client even. You may be asked to take them around town, show them, the sights or something like that, or even take them to lunch or dinner or something like that, and it's not really kind of part of your job. It doesn't, if your job isn't the thing here, this is also the house of service. By service, I mean you are doing something for someone and they are doing something for you because you both need help in some area or other, and it kind of like evens out, so you help each other out. In this case, though, you may be being asked to do just a little bit too much, especially if it is doing something like running around your own neighborhood or their own neighborhood, and especially like carting their ass everywhere, you know what I mean? Driving them here and there, and if you're not doing that, you're kind of like just doing their running around for them, okay? On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 6th house trines Pluto transiting in your 2nd house of Capricorn. So very nice, okay? Having Venus in your 6th house of the kind of work that you do means that you're doing something like to beautify whatever. It's possibly a work of art, or whatever it is that you do is something very eye-appealing, but it could be Venus related, whatever it is that you do. This is more than likely possibly a new line of work for you, because that's what you're kind of supposed to be doing. You're branching out, whatever it is that you do, okay, for money. So it could be like in the arts or entertainment, or again, back to beauty, hair, makeup, anything. And this very nice trine to your 2nd house, where you have Pluto still transiting 2nd house of how you earn your money, income, just means that you're bringing in more money from something that you've created, some kind of work that you're doing. But it's something that is fun. It's something that you enjoy doing. It's not a job that you do just for money. This is your side thing, your side job that you would like to have it become your main source of income. Okay, for Capricorn, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your, let's see here, 5th house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your second house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 5th house also squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your second house. So these are very, very nice squares actually to Jupiter. Okay, not a very big deal. Your 5th house is the house of fun, romance, speculation, creativity, games of any kind, sports, entertainment, so maybe you're having a really good time and you are spending a lot more money. Having Jupiter in your second house kind of makes you want to do that anyways. You may feel that the money is never ending, it'll come in sooner or later. You're expecting, even some kind of windfall, you may decide to really gamble at this time, and then again on the same day, on Monday, May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your 5th house squares Saturn also in your second house of Aquarius. So it's like the voice of reason comes in there and you like catch yourself. You slow yourself down as to if you are spending money, okay? Or you don't have to be doing that right now. Maybe you're making plans to do something in the future. That is fun, okay? And you just assume that you're going to have the money to do this very thing. And maybe you do, maybe you don't. But at least this Sun square to Saturn, okay, from your 5th house to 2nd, just makes you realize that maybe you don't really want to spend all that money on whatever it is, on a good time. Or maybe you don't want to speculate with something that you're not real sure about just yet. On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 5th house trines Pluto transiting in your 1st house of Capricorn. And this is, you have Venus in the 5th house of romance. What do you think I'm going to say? Well, it looks like it's going pretty well for you, actually. It's a day that if you're seeing someone romantically, they could say or do something that really makes you feel pretty special. Okay, so I think you're on the receiving end, not necessarily the one doing the whatever. I believe that on this day somebody's going to show you an awful lot of affection. Okay, for Aquarius, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 4th house squares Jupiter transiting in your 1st house of Aquarius. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 4th house also squares Jupiter in your 1st house of Aquarius. So you have planets in your 4th house of your home, okay, where you actually physically live, the people you live with, your family, your personal life. It could be a roommate or anything, so it's kind of minor. You've probably been wanting to make some kind of changes in this area anyways, because you have the planet Uranus also transiting there in Taurus. So there's been like out of the blue kind of upheavals going on in your personal life or your home life. And this is one of those times where you are trying to gear things more towards what you want, as far as your family or a roommate or anyone that you may live with. Even if you live by yourself, there's still something going on within your home or property that it's not to your exact satisfaction just yet, okay? Because on Monday, also May 3rd, the Sun in Taurus in your 4th house squares Saturn transiting in your 1st house of Aquarius. So you're like laying down the law, kind of. You've been trying to do that all along. But someone is possibly not listening to you. Could be a child, okay? Could be anyone, but it's somebody that just kind of blows you off, when you say, oh, I want the home to look this way, or I want you to stop doing this or that around the house, or something or other, And this is a day that you let them know that you mean business, okay? On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 4th house trines Pluto transiting in your 12th house of Capricorn. And this is, again, one of those days where, having Pluto in your 12th house means a lot of things, but one of them is you are the power behind the throne, okay? You are in charge, but a lot of people are unaware of that. They don't understand that you have a lot of say in something or other that's going on, and right now it's in your home, okay? It's not just in your home, but as long as Pluto is in your 12th house, you have, like I said, the power behind the throne. People may be surprised that you're the one kind of pulling all the strings, you know. Maybe you don't have to let people know or something, but you are the last word, okay? But they don't understand that, but they do now, you know, especially with this Venus trying to Pluto, okay, in your 12th house of secrets, hidden matters. So it comes like a little bit of self-satisfaction that it looks to me like you got your own way in some regards to your family or your home life. Okay. For Pisces, on Monday, May 3rd, Mercury in Taurus in your 3rd house squares Jupiter transiting in Aquarius in your 12th house. And on Saturday, May 8th, Venus in Taurus in your 3rd house also squares Jupiter transiting in your 12th house of Aquarius. You know, having Jupiter here in your 12th house along with Saturn, okay, just means there's an awful lot either going on in your mind or behind the scenes in your life. You're involved with charitable matters or acts. You're helping someone or being helped in some way or other. Your 3rd house is your everyday life and your siblings, your relatives, the people that you would normally see throughout the course of a day, your neighbors, you know, whatever. Big communication house. Maybe at this time you could, squares from Venus and Mercury aren't bad at all. Maybe you're having discussions with someone, could even be a sibling. That in your mind you're thinking, you know, you want to say one thing but you're not. For some reason, you're not really letting them know that maybe somebody's even telling you something about their plans, and maybe secretly you think they're really stupid. But you're not really voicing that right now. However, on May 3rd, Monday, also the same day that you have Mercury square Jupiter, you also have the Sun in Taurus in your 3rd house square Saturn in Aquarius in your 12th house. So you are the voice of reason, kind of. You know, you whoever in any conversation that you're having around this time with neighbors, with people in your neighborhood, maybe someone at the grocery store even that you run into, you are the voice of reason. You are pointing out the flaws in whatever it is that they're saying. It's not like a very big deal, you know, but it's just that in your dealings with some people, you are saying one thing and thinking another. And sometimes you do actually have to do that just to keep the peace, okay? Because whatever it is you're discussing, it's not like a big deal, okay? On Thursday, May 6th, Venus in Taurus in your 3rd house trines Pluto transiting in your 11th house of Capricorn. And this kind of looks like a very nice time with your friends or any kind of organization that you belong to, some kind of either nice communication or an actual physical get-together, maybe a Zoom get-together if you're doing things online. But very nice time, it seems. Not very earth-shaking. It's kind of a mild transit. It's not like really powerful, but it still brings about a pleasant conversation somewhere along the way, or communication with your friends or acquaintances, or even while online in social media. So I hope everyone enjoyed their astrological forecast for this week. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my monthly forecast. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.